It is Sunday, y'all. I'm so glad we made it. Sunday means that it's time for our weekly look back on the week in the BRM. I told you last week that it was going to be special, and for me it was. I hope that it was for you too. For those of you who followed along on my other social media channels, my Facebooks, my Instagram, my Twitter, if you followed along there, you were able to come with us during the week. And but if not, if you're just joining us here today, then welcome aboard. And we are going to do a little bit of reminiscing about what we did this week. Diving right in, Monday was Melody Monday, and we started the week off pretty heavy, y'all. Now, this whole thing is brand new. And to this point, we've been trying to keep it a little bit lighter. We've discussed some topics that were weighing on the heavy side, but this one was serious and no holds barred, no filters. This week, Melody Monday featured a song from my In the Boys Club album. Now, a lot of people don't know this when listening to the song because it has a funky sort of beat, very sassy lyrics and vocals, and it's fun. It sounds fun. But if you really listen, if you really get into it, you'll realize that I wrote the song about domestic abuse. I want to take the kid gloves off. It's time to really get into the whole purpose of this thing, which is helping each other out. The inspiration from this song came from when just thinking back on a friend, very close friend of mine, who was in a situation that she didn't deserve to be. Your life is worth much more than what you're allowing for yourself. It's your day to climb, it's your day to live, it's your day to soar. And you deserve all of that. You deserve a life that you feel safe in. You deserve a life that you feel loved and appreciated in. You deserve a life in which you are not the only one giving all of that love and appreciation. Because y'all know who you are. If I'm talking to you, then I want you to take it to heart. I don't care what you've allowed so far. There is absolutely no need to be ashamed of any of that. But the need is to get out of it. Grow from it. Learn from it. And then maybe in the future, when you have strength enough in your heart and in your mind, maybe in the future you can share that experience with someone else who needs to get out, grow, and learn. And you deserve to be acknowledged as a human being. You need to know your worth. So that was our Melody Monday. The song was Tightrope, and it was hopefully a call to arms for women and men in a situation of domestic abuse where they don't deserve to be. Also a call to arms for those of us who know someone who's in that situation, just so that we can stop turning the other cheek and pretending like we don't see it or hear it. It is your business. It's your business. Don't act like you don't see what's going on. Moving on to, it is Travel Talk Tuesday once again. Y'all see me all up in my, what do I want to call this look? My voodoo priestess look, my Creole queen. This week we went domestic in the States, and we talked about the time that I spent in New Orleans. I love that time. I lived there for about 4 years. And it was an incredible experience, and I will never, ever, ever forget it. I think I'm still full from that time. The food, the art, the parties, the parades, the music, the people, the love, the pride, the history of New Orleans, Louisiana will stick with me for the rest of my days. It's something that I will share with my children and my children's children, and hopefully they will share it for years to come. If you've never been to New Orleans, I encourage you to do it. I encourage you to go. I live, first of all, y'all, let me tell you about this food. Oh, now, you know your girl can eat. New Orleans is one of those places where you can get anything your heart desires when it comes to food. The crawfish. Oh, yes. Whoever saw them things in the mud and said, that looks like something that would taste really good if I put a little bit of Tony Satchers on it, I just want to hug that person because, oh, that was a great discovery for mankind. I love crawfish, and I was usually one of the last men standing at the crawfish boils, man. You gotta suck the head on them, that crawfish. And you better not miss a drop, because it's worth every bit of work you put in to getting that succulence out of them little things. I mean, what else? The barbecue shrimp, po' boys, char-grilled oysters, freaking beignets, and chicory coffee at Cafe du Monde at 2 o'clock in the morning. I remember walking down Royal Street during the day, and people think all there is to New Orleans is bars and clubs and drinking and partying and all that stuff. But Royal had a lot of art galleries and just beautiful things to see. A lot of street performers, love that. And you could just take it all in during the day, and then at night move yourself over to Bourbon Street. But I'll tell you this, if you've never been to New Orleans, check out the video, the full video on my Facebook pages, just so you know what to do and what not to do in New Orleans. Who dat? Moving on to Wednesday, it's hump day in the BRM. And we do Hump Day Help, which is a quote that we post in the middle of the week to help you over the hump. This week's Hump Day Help quote was, today, you decide. Meaning it's your choice. Situations in life will cause us to pout, complain, throw tantrums, sulk, wallow. We can do all those things because we're human. But it's up to us to choose what we do from there, where we go from there. So, Hump Day Help, today you decide. Thursdays in the BRM is Think On It Thursday. So usually I post a question to you after reading off live answers to the question that I posted the week before. So last week's question was how to stay encouraged, how to push through when everything that you are doing, all the effort that you're making towards achieving your goals and reaching the heights that you set out to reach, and, you know, getting that promotion, getting your big break in the music business or as an artist, or getting a job in the first place, finishing your degree, whatever it is that you are trying to do. Sometimes it's difficult, really difficult, and you feel like everything that you're doing is in vain. It's tough. Things ain't happening. That plant ain't growing no matter how much you water it. How do you keep on keeping on when you hit that wall?
Carlos Sweetwater Band said, I'm a musician and a songwriter, and it's an everyday struggle to keep up and move forward. High peaks and low valleys. I've been angry at God and the world. But believing in yourself and what you have to offer is key. Also, remembering kind words of encouragement and the belief in me that others have helps me keep on keeping on. Beautiful. And that, again, goes back to you don't want to disappoint the person who gifted you with these things, and you don't want to disappoint the fans that you've already
And the
earned.
new Think On It Thursday question of the week that I will read off the answers to on this coming Thursday is bucket list. What is at the top of your bucket list? Scroll up to the top of your bucket list, right? Read off what's on the top. And let me know, why haven't you done it yet? Why haven't you checked that thing off yet? Sometimes there's no good reason. And maybe you need to address that. I'm just saying, check yourself from the bottom to the top. Friday was fun. Friday's always the fun day for me because it is Foodie Friday. You know, your girl likes to eat. And this week on Foodie Friday, I brought y'all in the kitchen, my messy kitchen, when I cooked one of my one-pot wonders. The garlic and the carrots into the pot. I'm going to come over here to the stove and just put that on the eye. Get a little bit of, and it was a pork stew. It's cold here in the Netherlands right now. For those of you who don't know, I'm on tour here until April. It's cold, y'all. Cold. So I need to make myself meals that will stick to these bones, okay, and keep me warm throughout these frigid Dutch days and nights. So this week we went into my pork stew. It's never the same every time, but hopefully you caught. Hopefully you caught what I did this time, and maybe you can make something tasty for yourself. I've had this marinating for a day, and it's just marinating in, and I put it in a plastic Ziploc because it helps the flavors get in there better, and that's my experience. Just take all the air out of it, and yeah. So it's just a little bit of soy sauce, some red wine, some adobo, a few of those herbs, and spicy again, and it'll get a nice sear to it. Y'all can hear it. So that's resting on the bottom of the pan. I'm going to add in that marinade. Wash these hands out. Hot water to this pot of potatoes, pork, carrots, garlic, and make sure everything's covered. And I'm gonna cover it. And I'm gonna let it do its own thing. Stew has cooked all the way down again till it's like this gravy, beautiful gravy consistency, and the meat is completely shredded now, and it did that all on its own. Just, as I checked it and stirred it, it just kind of falls apart like that. So now that we're here, I'm going to go ahead and add in our mushrooms now. And that is our creation for the day. And Saturdays in the BRM is Showtime Saturdays. Now this, for me, is what made the entire week special. I counted down my top 7 most memorable moments on stage. Why 7? I don't know. I just like the number 7. Anyway, my top 7 most memorable moments in the BRM. And walking down memory lane was emotional and fun and hilarious all at the same time. So I'm glad that you guys got to come check out this clip. So here we are in Beijing, China at Club Shu. I was performing with a band called Express. Gwyneth Paltrow on stage. Now let's fast forward to not so long ago when I was able to tour France with the New Generation Blues Tour with the one and only my brother Marquise Knox and his band. Now let's move to just a few weeks ago, I think it was, when I got to perform in a castle in the Netherlands with John Primer. I had performed with John before about 3 years before this one, and that was at the North Sea Jazz Club in Amsterdam. Next, we're gonna backtrack. Now, this moment is very special for me because it was my very first concert ever. This was self-produced. This was the original Boys Club. I had named the band the Boys Club. I wanted to do a project and call it that. So this was a 7-piece band that I put together and we rehearsed, and I put on this show in a place called Hunters in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And it was the beginning of the beginning of the beginning. This next moment was one of the most precious moments. We were in Curacao performing at the International Curacao Blues Festival, and the streets were a sea of people as far as I could see. Now, it was special because, yes, this was the first time that I had performed in front of an audience that I couldn't see the end of. But more so, there was this little angel there named Jaylee, and she was addicted to the stage. Oh, melted my entire heart. I was a goner. The best part about it was that Jaylee didn't speak a lick of English, but that music, I got to perform in a church in Årland, Norway called the Årland Church. No other power
power can do.
Now this, the number one most memorable moment so far on stage for me was last year at the North Atlantic Blues Festival in Maine, when I got to sing on stage with living legend Bobby Rush and our dearly departed soul man, Mike Ledbetter. I'll never forget this moment. I'll never forget these times. Thank you for going down memory lane with me, guys, and I will see you soon. Da, 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 da. And it is back to Sunday in the BRM. I will see you guys next week. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share, lather, rinse, and repeat. Check us out on those social media pages that you see linked below. Love you, pieces.